Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today I'm going to tell you what to buy with $150 when you start collecting. So I saw that kind of video by a lot of reviewers and I told myself maybe you should do something like this with the same thematic, but solely with a different answer. So when you're starting to collect fragrance, there's one big thing that really it's there because you're starting out is that you don't have a lot of experience with a lot of scent. And everyone can give you a list of you should buy this, you should buy that, you should buy this, you should buy that. And in reality, most of these things, if you just blind buy all of them, you're gonna have a lot of fragrance you don't like. And I'm a big believer in blind buying fragrance. A couple of videos on how to do better blind buys or how to figure out which note you like and which fragrance have those notes that you like. And I think there's a way to do blind buys that will 99.9% of time get you a fragrance you really love. But if you're starting out, you don't have all you need to know which fragrance you like. You might know, oh, I like this fragrance and this fragrance. Oh, there's this one I don't like and this one I really hate. And that will be it. And it's not enough information to know all the information you need to do a blind buy. Successfully, at least. So to the opposite of what a lot of people would say that you should put all that money toward one fragrance that is really high quality and not buy cheap stuff, I think you should buy cheap stuff. You should buy cheap fragrance. Just for the sake of buying cheap fragrance, you should buy samples. If you want more expensive fragrance, you should buy samples. Personally, I would say that the best bet would be to go with clones and company that makes cheapy like Davidoff, for example. And the reason is that you want to train your nose. You want to discover fragrance. You want to try as much or as many fragrance you can. And to do this, if you buy one fragrance at a time at $150 every time doing blind buys, it's gonna be really expensive. You're better off buying 10 fragrance for $150, though 10 fragrance might be a bit hard to get that much fragrance, but let's say 5, 6, 7 fragrance for $150 and have half of them you don't like, half of them that you like. You're better off with this than getting one fragrance that is really expensive and having one chance out of two that you absolutely hate it. And you're stuck with $150 fragrance you don't like. Now the best thing would be to go in stores and try a lot of fragrance and figure out what you like. This is what would be the best thing for you, and blind buy stuff that you just cannot get in store. And usually things you cannot get in store are either super expensive or super cheap. There's like the in-between, you can find it in store. With $150, which is really an arbitrary number, what I would do is look out for 5 fragrance. $30 budget for each fragrance. Could vary. I could get one for 20 and one for 40. It's not like strict $30, but I would go and look which fragrance are interesting to me and try to broaden my horizon. Get different things, not get 5 clones of Aventus. One clone of Aventus is great. 5 of them is 5 times the same fragrance with a different variant. It doesn't tell you what you like, what you don't like. If you get one of Aventus, one of Sauvage, for example, you got some really old school fragrance, a barbershop fragrance, and some random aquatic cheapy. You're gonna have way more variety in what you're having, and you're gonna be able to know which note you like, which one you don't like. Take time to analyze those fragrance. The best way would not to just do blind buys, would be to go try stuff in stores first, then look what you like, try to find different fragrance. But still, I think the best, if you're starting out, you want to build a collection, is to start with cheaper fragrance. Real best way to do it would be to go in store, try a lot of fragrance, figure out like which one you like, which notes you like. Even if there's a fragrance that you like that note in it, but you hated the fragrance as a whole, or a fragrance that you love, but there was that note that you really don't like inside of the fragrance, but the rest was good. Find those things. Figure out what you like, what you don't like, and buy 5 fragrance that you know you will love, or you're most likely gonna love if you're going to do a blind buy. Maybe clones of stuff you smell that are expensive, just to have those 5 fragrance to start out with. Doing this, you're gonna already have a collection. You're gonna have your $150 for a collection and not just for one fragrance. And this way, you're gonna be able to have fragrance for different occasions. You're gonna be able to have a rotation in the fragrance you wear, and then you can start looking out for more expensive fragrance, better quality fragrance. Though you should not get stuff that are super synthetic and that are gonna be bad, but you should look for things that are nice, or at least you think are nice. Ironically, I think the best way for you to figure out what is things you like and things you don't like would be, yes, to go in store, but also to likeness, so to figure out what you like, but the fragrance you can buy according to what you like would also be to go on groups on Facebook and ask people what they think about it, or go to a site like Fragrantica and look what people say, which fragrance people are saying that is similar to a fragrance that you like, and just try to find stuff that are going to be good according to you, according to your taste, and what you're most likely going to enjoy. So this is a really different approach to what most people would answer that question. Also, a lot of people would say that the best way to do it is one expensive fragrance, but personally I would say that getting cheap fragrance at first, maybe getting stuff that goes with the hype, like an Aventus cologne, maybe getting a bottle of something that's similar to Sauvage, for example, Cool Water Parfum, some clone of Invictus, maybe also some old school fragrance, things that are cheap in discounter. Just getting a lot of fragrance to get your nose on a lot of things and have fragrance for every situation as quick as you can when you start, I think is the best way to start a collection. And this is what I did, and I'm happy that it's what I did, getting a lot of cheap fragrance. There's a bunch of the fragrance that I got because of the hype when I started that I sold back, that I gave away. And I think it's part of the game to just try a lot of stuff when you start. I'm happy that's what I did, and this is why I think this is what you should do if you're starting out a collection. If you disagree with me, just write it in the comment. Tell me then what is your pick. What will you do with $150 if you would start out collecting? But me, I would say that $150 is just some random number that I saw some other fragrance reviewer on YouTube use, and this is why it's $150. Whatever the budget, what I would do is just get cheap perfume to build a small collection, broaden your horizon in fragrance. If there's things you don't like, they're cheap, give them away. Sell them if you can, give them away. If you buy a $500 bottle of Creed fragrance and you hate it, it's not nice. It's hard. It would be hard to sell. If you give it away, it's a lot of money. If you buy a $30, $25, $30 Club de Nuit Intense and it turns out you hate it, you can give it to someone that will be happy. You can try to sell it for $20. You'll have a smaller loss, and you will be much more happier to screw up a blind buy of $30 than a blind buy of $500. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, like and share. Again, if you have different idea of how you should start your collection, if you have a certain amount of money to start out your fragrance journey with $150, write that in the comment. So, thanks for watching, and see you soon.